snap. Hello, everybody. This is Etho, and yes, we are back again with some more Battle Bane. Oh, it's been about, I think, a month since our last episode, and last time we tried really hard to get this arena part of the map project finished. We built a bunch of the structures, and we got it to a place where it felt like it was done. But I did ask for your feedback on it, and I have implemented a whole bunch of refinements to this arena since last episode, and now I'm gonna say it's done. So I thought we'd start out with a quick world tour, arena tour with some of the changes that you guys suggested. But now it's too late. If you have any more ideas, I'm not gonna add them. You had your chance, so I'll just show you some of your ideas that I implemented here. Starting off with, let's look at the volcano. So if you remember, this was pretty much solid stone throughout, and a bunch of you recommended having lava pouring out, putting in some obsidian. I added some fires in as well. Funny enough, I think the black concrete looks better than obsidian, so I used that instead. It's kind of bad that we're substituting Minecraft intended blocks with other blocks because they just don't look good. So we got some obsidian streaks running down the mountain where the lava cooled, and before the grass ended at this height here pretty much, and I've scattered some grass blocks throughout here too. I think that helps to blend it in much better. So all in all, I think that looks quite a bit better. I do find the black stands out a lot though. I'm not so happy about that, like compared with the rest of the map, but I think it's good. Good enough. Then on the inside is one of your biggest suggestions. We had water here, and a lot of you were like, well, that doesn't make sense. So I switched the water to lava, and now we have like another way of dying on the map, which I guess is good. You can get knocked into there or walk in on your own stupidity. Moving on here, another one of the biggest suggestions was we should have better indicators to what side of the map you're on, because since we're copying it 4 times and rotating it, it gets a little bit confusing. Everything looks the same, right? Some of you suggested banners. I don't want to do banners because that's going to get more complicated, but I did decide to use white clay. Anywhere you see white clay is going to get transformed into red, green, yellow, or blue clay, depending on what side of the map you're on for whatever team. That's easy to do with just a simple command block switch. So over there, for example, that's going to be red for the red team. I added in a flag there that you can see from pretty much anywhere. The floor in the starting base is going to be the team color. And even inside the cave here, I added some color strips. So if you're in the red cave, you'll be able to tell. And that'll cover pretty much the whole map. You'll be able to see it. So that's cool. I did go overboard with the cracked stone brick and andesite last time, so I reduced it a little bit here. Hopefully it's fine now. I got carried away. Let's see here what else. Someone suggested I should try to make my roofs and bridges look better. They said they were ugly. Just put it out straight. They said they were ugly. And they're still kind of ugly, but I did try to add some more variation to them. I don't think that stripe was there before. And I added in some whatevers over here just to break it up a bit so it wasn't like straight across. Yeah. And the bridges, I did add in some different supports or whatever. I don't think these were here before. Added some weird design here with, I don't know what that is. Doesn't make sense, but it adds variation. And also a big thing is I removed some of the blocks here, so it looks a bit worn down. Some of the fences are missing. That does impact the gameplay quite a bit because you can fall now as you try to cross this, and it's almost a lethal fall. I think it's like 6 hearts or something. Most people are not going to have feather falling, so that's a pretty big change. I did take out the trap door here for the hay bale, but you can still dig down there to get to it if you want. It just didn't look right with it in. And it was also suggested that this sniper spot might be too good. So I added in a button here. You can snipe back. If you shoot that button, it's going to activate some TNT hidden in the wall and blow up the guy standing here if he doesn't move. So that's kind of one counter to it. Yeah, there it is. There's only like Maybe 3 or 4 pieces in there. It's not much. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, this is kind of a subtle thing. It's not really going to be noticeable when you're playing, but on the outside here, I made it look like the ground is actually supporting the fortress instead of it just hanging over the map like it was before, and roughed up the terrain down here. I think that looks pretty cool. This is not a perfect mirror. Over here is the proper one. This is how it's actually going to look. I had mentioned last episode that I felt maybe the map was a bit too cluttered, and some of you agreed with me, so I did end up removing the tree that was here just to open it up a bit more. I got rid of some of the grass and double tall grass because these are really annoying when you're trying to hit your opponent and you hit this instead. So I tried to get rid of some of those. There's a few on the edges of the map still. There's a double tall flower there, but it's not really where you're probably going to do the fighting. So hopefully that's not an issue. It is important to keep some of that stuff just because I think it helps the look of the arena here. It's just not so good function-wise, right? Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, some of you said I should add supports to this bridge here like I did with this one. The problem with that is I think it's going to make the map feel very cluttered if we have more posts like running down here. And it'll just get in the way of stuff. So even though it might make more sense, I don't think it's going to be better. And in the mine here, I did put in the TNT minecart. You can press the button here to activate it. And it'll send there's an activator rail there. So it'll explode right around here in the mine, right under the river, and it'll make this void over here as well. So it pretty much shuts down the passage, but it's very unlikely you're actually going to get a kill with it. So it's just like a fun thing in the map you can use if you want. Alright, let's go to my favorite part here. The basement. I had the wood like this before, and someone said just put it down 1 block, and that was a huge improvement, I would say. So thank you for that. Not only does it give you more space here, but it's actually easier to get back up here, because before you were running into the planks a lot. Now it's just like running upstairs. So that's cool. It was suggested I should make the cave area here more moody, so I put in redstone torches and got rid of the other lights. We got mushroom blocks in here now, and some other decorative things. I don't know. I really like this area. This is actually my favorite part of the map, I think. I just love this this theme of brown ground. We got some brick in here. We have some dark oak. Yes, that's what it's called. And some leaves and stuff. Some cobble and andesite mixed in. This is like my favorite block theme in Minecraft, I think. It just feels really good to me. Alright, very good, guys. So I think those are all the changes that were made, all the refinements. Hopefully you like them. The only other thing I can think of is I did get it ready for nighttime. So this is the nighttime look with all the hidden lighting and stuff. It's hidden under leaves and as cleverly as I could. Another reason for the lava on the volcano is it lights it up, which is nice. And that feels pretty good to me. So in the game, I think mobs are going to be on in the arena fight here. So they'll spawn and there'll be an extra hazard you got to watch out for. But I don't think there'll be too many. It'll be reasonable, let's say. Alright, and in the basement pretty much stays the same day or night. Feels pretty good, I think. Not too dark, not too bright. Alright guys, so I had an idea here for this next segment. We're going to check out the arena with shaders on while I do some talking, because I thought this would be a bit more interesting than me just standing here talking to you. We can go do a quick tour while I express some concerns about our game design here. So I mentioned how I wanted to score the game before. My original plan was after the arena fight, whatever team has players remaining would get a point, right? And maybe you play to 3 points or something. Then I had the idea, let's make it a bit more interesting. Rather than just awarding 1 point, we would award points according to how many players survive the fight. So if it's a landslide victory, 4 players are still alive at the end of it, you would get 4 points. But if you just barely scraped by and only 1 guy survived, and you lost 3 of your teammates, then you'd only get 1 point, right? The problem with that, as a lot of you mentioned, is it encourages passive play. Like, it's fine if you're doing a 1v1, but in a free-for-all situation, what that does is it encourages you not to fight. You just hide, right? And let the other teams kill themselves, and then you clean up at the end and you get the points. So that's not going to work in our game here. What was suggested instead is I should award points for kills. Every kill you get a point. Sounded simple. I thought it was a good idea. But the more I think about it, I realize we have a problem. And that's my concern here. Here, let's go to nighttime. 1500. Oh, yeah. So the problem with the going by kills is teams or players can suicide. Let's say you get someone down to 1 heart and you're chasing them. They're running away, and it's like, well, I don't want to give them a point. All they got to do is jump off the edge or jump into the lava or have one of their teammates kill them or something. That would kind of suck. So what do we do about that? I had what I thought was a pretty good idea. Let's award points based on how much damage you do. Because another problem with going by kills is with bow combat, guess what happens? A lot of times you will snipe somebody, you'll do maybe 5 hearts damage to them, but very rarely you'll actually get the kill because you're far away from them and they can just run away and hide, and someone else might kill them. So all your work in getting perfect snipe shots on them is for nothing. So that's not going to encourage bow combat unless we go for damage. If we go for damage, then it actually encourages bow combat because you're not taking a risk fighting someone with a bow. Like, if in a melee fight you trade blows generally, but with a bow fight you're the one doing damage and they're receiving it. So you can gain points without feeding points to your enemies, basically. So that's good. Excalibur texture pack. All right. Can you imagine if I had this in my Let's Play with shaders? You guys would think I was a good builder. I could trick you. I know I could. Even though it doesn't change anything about the building, it just makes it look better. Alright, so yeah, the big issue with awarding points based on kills is there's a lot of ways of dying in the game that would steal the kills away from the deserving player. You know, there's fall damage, there's starvation, drowning, lava, you name it, falling into the void. You do 9 hearts damage to somebody, but if they go out a natural way, there's no way of detecting that with command blocks, I don't think, right? So in a perfect world, what I would like to happen is, you see our hearts down here? We got 10 hearts. Let's assume each half heart's worth a point. Ideally, at most, I would like you could be able to get 30 points off of somebody that enters the arena. 20 points if you kill them quickly, but if they recover 5 hearts and you do that extra damage, then you deserve that extra points, right? Up to a certain point. Like, I'm worried teams might enter an alliance with each other and somebody might just farm points off of somebody, allow them to recover, and keep damaging them, allow them to recover, keep damaging them. You could farm hundreds of points off of somebody. So I want to cap it at 30. Alright, so we are back to normal here, guys. And basically the too long and didn't listen summary of everything I'm trying to say here is I would prefer to do a damage-based score system. But it doesn't really matter regardless if we do a kill-based one or a damage-based one. Both of them are seriously limited and flawed. The kill-based one, because as I said, you can track when somebody kills somebody and award the point. That's all done with the scoreboard system. It's all built in, which is nice. But it doesn't deal with suicides or exploits that people can take advantage of. So that kind of sucks. Damage-based system, I thought, okay, there's 2 scoreboard things for keeping track of damage. There's one called stat.damage taken, and there's one called stat.damage dealt. Problem with both of these is you can't assign credit of that damage to anybody. You would have to do something fancy with command blocks to figure that out. Like, okay, if somebody goes if somebody deals damage and somebody receives damage and those damages are equal, you can figure out, okay, that person did damage to that person, and then with command blocks award them the points, probably, right? So you could figure it out. It would just be kind of messy and complicated. Here's the thing, though. It's worse. It's way worse than I expected. So the one that keeps track of how much damage you deal, damage dealt, it does not keep track of bow damage. It doesn't keep track of potions or TNT or anything. It only tracks melee damage, so it's kind of useless. Which surprised me because in the game, like it says so-and-so was shot by so-and-so with the bow. Why isn't it tracking that damage? I don't know. If it can assign credit that way, why can't it do it with the scoreboard system? It's like they figured it out, but they haven't implemented it. Whatever. The other issue is not only does it track melee damage, it tracks all melee damage, and you can't really figure out if you're attacking a player, I don't think. You see that just went up for attacking a mob. I don't know if it works for boats and that kind of stuff. There might be a clever way of figuring it out, but it doesn't matter. It's kind of useless if it only tracks one type of damage, right? I don't know what to do about that. So we would be better off using the other one called stat.damage taken. I got another scoreboard with that. Let's switch to that. Is it take damage? Yeah. So the nice thing about this one is it tracks all damage. So even fall damage. So it just went up when we fell. That's kind of nice, right? If we take damage in a fire and all that, it should work too. Here, let's try that just to be sure. Flint and steel. So that's nice. We can track all damage. The problem is we have to figure out how to assign credit to somebody using command blocks. So I have an idea for a crazy, convoluted command block system, possibly for keeping track of damage and who deserves credit for that damage. Those of you good with command blocks, please help me out if I'm going somewhere with this. Or if I'm crazy, tell me I'm crazy. Maybe I'm missing some obvious way of tracking damage in this game, but I don't know. If I don't hear anything to change my mind, we might try implement this next episode. But here's my crazy idea. So basically, we need to figure out who owns what projectiles, and then as those projectiles get close to a player, then any damage that player receives belongs to whoever owns the projectile. Does that make sense? This is going to be hard to explain. So for example, after I shoot an arrow here, let's say I'm on green team, I believe that arrow counts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every tick it's alive, it increments by 1, right? So I want to have a command block that does an execute on all arrows, check the nearest player to it when it's on time 1. And like as soon as this arrow is created, it's going to check the nearest player to it. And since I'm on green team, apply a green team tag to that arrow. And then when it hits another player or gets close to another player, switch credit for any damage they receive to green team. Does that make sense? So let's say somebody shoots you, or they shoot near you even, and let's say that arrow causes you to freak out and you jump off a cliff and take a bunch of fall damage. Then green team would get all that damage points. So I haven't looked into it in full detail yet, but hopefully we can use that same trick with other entities like anvils, TNT, maybe potions. So after you first create the anvil, check the nearest player to it. If it's green team, apply a green team tag to the anvil, and then as it falls and gets close to its target, apply any damage received to the green team. Give them the points for it, right? And at any given time, every player is going to have some credit assigned to them. So let's say I hit red team with an anvil from green team. Then any damage that red team member receives is going to belong to green team until the credit switches. So let's say they run through a fire or something, then green team gets that damage. If they take fall damage, it's only till it switches, like let's say yellow team shoots at that red team member, then credit switches over to yellow team at that point. Also, as far as any melee damage comes into concern, I think if a player comes within 5 blocks of somebody, just switch a credit over to them, and then that'll track all melee damage. It's not going to be a perfect system, though, by any means. But it's the best idea I have, so I don't know what to do. Does that make sense? Do you understand that? Hopefully some of you have some insight for me. But I thought I'd bring it up. So yeah, I thought I would mention that today because it's one of the big obstacles I'm facing with our game right now. I can't really advance until I know what to do. I have ideas, but I don't know if they're good ideas. So hopefully you guys will help me brainstorm that, and then I'll try to pick the best route to take with it. Moving on here, though, I have done some other stuff since last episode. I started working on a leaderboard system. So after, like we did the team joining system, that's all working. So after we start up the game, we teleport the players to their respective team starting positions. And then we need to start like a countdown until people get teleported to the arena for the fight. And they need to know when that's going to happen. And hopefully we also have some way of showing them the scores at all times, so they're not like left wondering who's winning. I have no idea. So I have created a leaderboard thing here. First thing we do is scoreboard objectives. Well, I'll just hit the button first. So it brings up the leaderboard on the side here, and it counts down till the next round. So we create a scoreboard, a dummy scoreboard called leaderboard. Then we create a fake player for that leaderboard called next round, and that's what you see here. That's the name here. And we set its score to -300. We're doing negative numbers for this because if we use a positive number and it's counting down, let's say green team is at score 30 and it goes from 31 to 30 and then 29. It's going to move the names around on the leaderboard, but if we use a negative number, it's always going to be at the bottom. So that's why I did that. Then I created another objective called seconds. We set that to 19, and since there's 20 game ticks in a second, that decreases by 1 every game tick. So we remove 1 using a repeating command block. Remove 1 every game tick. Then we test when it hits 0 here. If it hits 0, we set it back to 19, and we decrease the next round counter here by 1. And then when that hits 0, we can then do stuff like teleport people to the arena and that. So I think that'll work out. And then, let's see, scoreboard players, add green team. Am I doing this right? What am I doing? Oh yeah, then we tell it what leaderboard or what scoreboard we want to apply them to, and then their score. So if green team had 4 points right now, we could do this, and they would show up on the leaderboard. So during the game, when people are farming resources and stuff, I want this on the side of the screen at all times. And I think even during the arena fight, we'll also have a leaderboard shown there. It'll be slightly different though. We can color code the teams as well if we do scoreboard teams. I think I have a red, green, blue, and yellow team already. Join, is it? Yeah. So we got 5 teams in there already. Join, and they're color coded. So if we do green team, not Etho, green team, that fake player we just made. Oh, what? What? Why does it keep adding me? Oh, you can add multiple people at a time, that's right. Aha, so now it changed green. Because I think somewhere here we set the colors. Yeah, scoreboard teams, option, red team, color red. That's how we did that. Alright guys, so another thing I wanted to check out today was how the world border works. So I've been playing with some of the stuff here. You can set the size of it in blocks like this. So that would set it to 1,000. Same as our bedrock border here. We're not going to be doing a bedrock fence like we originally planned now that we have the world border That is a much better option. So that's diameter, not radius. So it's 500 radius. You can set the center point of it as well. Center, it's going to be at 0, 0 in our game. And what I'm really wondering, though, is how it works with regards to the Nether. Because my plan is to... Oh, it's a funny portal. 4 block stall, it's fine. My plan is to have the Nether in the game, but with a world border on. So it's probably going to be a small Nether. And I think if we go this way, we're going outside of the border. So then if you go through a portal, you end up outside, right? Or how does it work? Let's find out. Okay. Like, one of my concerns is people are going to break portals and then you're stuck somewhere. It goes back here. Let's go really far then, I guess. Or does it always teleport you to the closest portal within the border? Because I would have thought that would have created a new portal. Okay, let's try and make another one here. We're quite a bit farther out now. Okay, so it always seems to teleport you within the border. That's good. Wait a minute here. I kind of just assumed the Nether world's border was divided by 8, but it's the same size as in the overworld, which means we are going to have a huge Nether. Like, if the overworld's 1,000 by 1,000, the Nether's going to be 1,000 by 1,000. I don't know if I like that. What do you guys think about that? Because then people can hide their stuff in the Nether, and you might never find it. Or they'll build their bases in the Nether, and it's good luck finding those, right? It's twice the world size then. Huh. Another idea is that we could just set up a villager at everybody's team starting position that you can't kill, and it can trade like blaze rods and brewing stands or whatever. Probably just blaze rods, nether warts, and maybe soul sand. Should we have the Nether? Yes or no? I still haven't decided. No AI, true. It worked. It worked. You can take damage, though. Okay. How do you spell it? Invulnerable. True. Didn't work. How do I space it? Alright, so this is my biggest issue with command blocks, by the way. When you get to the more complicated stuff, it starts ending up looking like this. And there's no good way of doing that within the games. I used an online villager shop generator. There's lots of summon generators available online. So if you ever got to do this stuff, that's the way to do it. So much easier. Could you imagine typing that out and testing everything individually? Oh. There's no good GUI in this game for command blocks. It's insane. Alright, so it creates a test dummy here with 4 shop items. I think we might do something like this. I kind of want to see what you guys say about it, though. So we could give the gold another use here. We could trade it for blaze rods for your brewing stand. And if you want to make strength potions, and you need blaze rods for just brewing in general. Maybe 2 for 1 nether wart, 1 of these for soul sand if you want to start farming it. Oh, that's supposed to be 8 arrows. Oops. 8. Haha. Get out of here. So I figured out why I can hit this guy too, by the way, even though he's invulnerable. I guess you can do that in creative mode. Alright, this one should be 8. Yeah. Alright, so if we go into game mode 0, we can't hit him. I have his motion set to 0 as well, so he won't move. But if we're in game mode 1, you can. Yeah, so I think it's probably a good idea to do a villager shop system like this. Here's the reasoning for it. Like, if we allow the Nether, at most there's probably only going to be 1 fortress, maybe 2. The first team to go in there is probably going to break the blaze spawners and take all the nether wart, and then only 1 team's going to have that stuff, and they're going to have a huge advantage being able to brew potions, while the other teams can't. So at least if we give the shop system, all the teams will always have the option to do it. They'll just have to spend gold, which would be nice for golden apples and stuff, right? So they'll have to sacrifice it. And it also gives gold more of a use, which I think is a good idea. But here's the thing. I thought about it some more. Like, I can't really disable the Nether. So it's going to be up to the players, I think, to decide on that rule before they start the game. Like, do we want to play with the Nether on, yes or no? And then everyone has to agree to it if they do. Because by default, I can't really disable that dimension, right? Even with the world border. So it's going to be on and up to everybody to decide. All right. Anyways, I'm going to leave the episode here for today. If you have any thoughts or feedback on things, please let me know in the comments. But until next time, thank you for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.